Welcome back to the Harvest to Table video channel. I'm Stephen Albert. Today we're diving into one of the most effective ways to keep your tomato plants healthy and productive: pruning. Pruning helps improve air circulation, reduces the risk of disease, and directs the plant's energy into producing better fruit. We'll look at how to prune based on the type of tomato you're growing: determinate bush tomatoes or indeterminate vining tomatoes, as well as your support method, whether you're using cages, stakes, or letting your plants sprawl. And we'll talk about how pruning can help you reach your specific gardening goals, like getting an early harvest, growing larger tomatoes, or boosting your total yield. Let's get started. First up, pruning indeterminate vining tomatoes. Indeterminate tomatoes, often referred to as vining tomatoes, grow continuously throughout the growing season. Unlike determinate varieties, they do not reach a fixed mature size and will keep producing new flowers and fruit over an extended period. Because of their vigorous growth, they generally require more consistent pruning and support to stay healthy and productive. In the early stages of growth, it's helpful to remove any suckers that develop below the first flowering cluster. This helps direct the plant's energy into strong, upward growth and encourages early fruit production without unnecessary branching. As the plant enters the flowering and fruiting stage, regular pruning becomes more important. Focus on removing the side shoots, or suckers, that appear in the leaf axils, especially those below the first flower cluster. This practice helps control the plant's size, improves airflow, and promotes better fruit development. It's also essential to provide sturdy support, such as stakes, cages, or trellises, to keep the growing vines upright and manageable. Later in the season, continue to remove new suckers to concentrate the plant's energy on maturing existing fruit rather than producing more foliage or flowers. You can also selectively prune excess foliage to improve light penetration and reduce the risk of disease by enhancing airflow. Toward the end of the season, or once the plant has reached your desired height, consider topping the main stem. Topping helps shift the plant's energy away from new growth and toward ripening the fruit already on the vine, ensuring a better quality harvest. Next up, pruning determinate bush tomatoes. Determinate tomatoes, also known as bush-type tomatoes, are known for their compact growth habit. These plants typically grow to a set height, produce most of their fruit within a relatively short time frame. They generally require less maintenance and pruning compared to indeterminate varieties. During the early growth stage, only minimal pruning is necessary. It's helpful to remove any suckers that appear in the junctions between the main stem and side branches. This helps keep the plant tidy and manageable without affecting its productivity. As the plant begins flowering and setting fruit, focus on removing any dead or yellowing leaves. It's important to avoid over-pruning at this stage because determinate varieties bear fruit primarily on their main stems. Heavy pruning can inadvertently reduce the number of fruit-bearing branches. Overall, light pruning is best for determinate tomatoes. Removing a few suckers and some of the lower leaves can improve air circulation around the plant, which helps prevent disease. Avoid heavy or aggressive pruning, as this can decrease the overall fruit yield. Now, let's take a look at the 4 most common ways to prune tomatoes. They are simple pruning, or sucker removal, topping, bottom pruning, and excess foliage removal. First up, removing suckers or simple pruning. Simple pruning, or sucker removal, is one of the most common and effective methods for managing indeterminate tomato plants, especially those grown on stakes or trellises. This technique involves removing suckers, which are the small shoots that develop in the V or axil between the main stem and a leaf branch. These suckers, if left unchecked, will grow into full-sized stems that compete with the main plant for nutrients and sunlight. Begin simple pruning when your tomato plants are about 12 to 18 inches tall, and continue the process weekly throughout the growing season. The primary goal is to keep each plant open and manageable. This not only improves air circulation and reduces the risk of disease, but also directs a plant's energy toward producing fewer, larger, and more flavorful fruits. A good tip to keep in mind: pinch off suckers when they are still small, around 2 to 4 inches long. At this size, they're easy to remove by hand and less likely to stress the plant. The second pruning method is top pruning or topping. Top pruning involves cutting off the top of the tomato plant's main stem once it has reached its maximum desired height. This technique is most effective with indeterminate tomato varieties, which continue to grow and produce new flowers and fruit throughout the season. Topping is typically done late in the growing season, about 4 to 6 weeks before the expected first frost. By removing the growing tip, the plant stops putting energy into producing new foliage and flowers. Instead, it redirects its resources toward ripening the fruit that has already set. This ensures a better harvest before cold weather arrives and growth naturally slows or stops. This method is especially helpful if your tomato plants are growing taller than your supports, or if you're aiming to wrap up the season with a concentrated harvest. The third pruning method is bottom pruning. Bottom pruning, or lower leaf removal, involves cutting off the lower 12 to 18 inches of leaves as the plant grows taller. This technique is beneficial for all types of tomatoes, both determinate and indeterminate. The best time to begin bottom pruning is once the plant has started setting fruit. As the fruit develops and matures, removing the lower leaves helps prevent soil-borne diseases, such as blight, from splashing up onto the foliage during watering or rain. It also improves air circulation around the base of the plant, which further reduces the risk of fungal infections and encourages healthier growth overall. By keeping the lower portion of the plant clear, you not only help protect your tomato crop from disease, but also make it easier to water and maintain the plants throughout the growing season. The fourth pruning method is selective leaf thinning, or pruning excess foliage. This method is especially useful in high-density plantings, where airflow is limited and humidity levels can be high. Thinning the leaves helps expose developing fruit to more sunlight. This promotes even fruit ripening and enhances flavor. Additionally, reducing the amount of foliage helps prevent the buildup of moisture around the fruit, which can lead to problems like powdery mildew or gray mold, particularly in humid conditions. Selective leaf pruning should be used with care. Remove just enough leaves to open up the plant canopy without overexposing the fruit to direct sun, especially in very hot climates. Done properly, selective leaf thinning can lead to a healthier plant and a more abundant, better quality harvest. Match how you prune to how you support the plants. The way you support your tomato plants plays a key role in how you should prune them. If you're using stakes, especially for indeterminate varieties, it's best to prune aggressively. Train the plant to a single main stem by removing all suckers, the small shoots that grow in the leaf axils between the stem and branches. This helps direct the plant's energy into vertical growth and fruit development along that central stem. Tie the plant to the stake every few inches as it grows to keep it upright and well supported. If you're growing your tomatoes in cages, whether determinate or indeterminate, a gentler pruning approach works best. Remove the suckers and lower leaves up to the first flower cluster to improve airflow and reduce the risk of disease. With cages, you can allow 3 to 4 main stems to grow, as the cage provides enough support to handle the extra growth. Be careful not to over-prune determinate varieties. They rely on their full foliage to produce a strong crop. For gardeners who allow determinate tomatoes to grow without support in wide beds, the need for pruning is minimal. If you allow bush tomatoes to sprawl on the ground, remove crowded and diseased growth to keep the plants healthy. Good spacing between sprawling plants is also key to reducing humidity and limiting disease. Pruning for harvest goals. Your gardening goals also play a role in how much to prune. If you're aiming for an early harvest, prune to a single or double stem and start early in the season. This channels the plant's energy into fewer fruits, which ripen sooner. For larger fruits, limit the number of stems and prune away most suckers. Fewer fruits per plant means more energy goes into sizing them up. On the other hand, if your goal is higher overall yield, allow 2 to 4 main stems to develop and prune only lightly. This approach encourages more fruit production over time, especially in indeterminate varieties. If your priority is disease prevention, prune the lower leaves that touch the soil and open up the interior of the plant to improve airflow. This helps keep the foliage dry and reduces the risk of fungal diseases. Always water at the base of the plant and use mulch to prevent soil from splashing onto the leaves. And there you have it. Pruning tomatoes doesn't have to be complicated. With just a little attention each week, you can set your plants up for a productive season. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the Harvest to Table channel for more practical, hands-on gardening advice. Want more tomato tips? Get my book, Tomato Grower's Answer Book, available at Amazon. More than 100 pages of tomato growing tips. See the link in the notes below. Thanks for watching today. Until next time, this is Stephen Albert wishing you happy gardening. See you in the next video.